Hello and welcome to the latest podcast. I am your host, JP John Paz. And of course, joining me is the former head writer for the WWF and WCW, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, how you doing?
What is going on, John? How are you doing, bro?
Doing good. Can't complain. So right off the top, we'll just get this out of the way. A question from Larry. I'm not sure if he's trying to get you or me in trouble with this one, but he wanted to know about blackface Goldust. So I'm not really sure if you remember that, but it was on Raw. I guess it was somewhere around late 97, early 98, and he did the complete blackface Goldust gimmick. Do you remember this at all? Whose idea it was? Anything
Bro,
about it?
whatever, however Goldust did his face that week was 1000% him. I never knew how he was going to do his face. There was no direction for how he'd do his face. I just guess from a creative point of view, every show Dustin would just put on his makeup the way he wanted to put on his makeup. Nobody else ever had anything to do with that. That was always him, regardless of what it was.
Do you adjust your writing to whatever he's dressing up as?
No,
Or
of
no?
course not. Of course
Oh, no.
not.
Okay.
No, the show's written. He gets ready for the show. He puts on his gear, and whatever makeup he feels like putting on that day, that's what he did. And obviously back then, if he came out in blackface or something like that, just like, Piper at, I guess it was WrestleMania 3. Back then, it isn't
WrestleMania
what
6,
it
yeah.
6, yeah, whatever. But back then, bro, it isn't what it is today. So, like, quite frankly, if he came out in like complete blackface or whatever, bro, I wouldn't have even noticed, because every single week he wore his makeup differently.
Yeah, it was nothing. Nobody even blinked an eye. Remember Triple H did? Like, nobody, Road Dogg did.
Those
Nobody even
guys
blinked an
too,
eye.
bro. Those guys too. When they did that spoof of the
The
a
Nation.
nation, that was all them. That was all them. Whatever they decided to do creatively, that was them. I just basically, the creative was, you guys are going to spoof the nation. And then they went back and got together and did all of that on their own. And, that was it.
When that happens and you're writing it, obviously nobody's batting an eye. They just do it. Do you do anything to play it up or play it down? Or it, like, whatever's written, that's what you're doing? I don't care what, how you're dressed, Goldust.
No, exactly. Like, here's the creative. This is what we're doing. And I'm going to, let you guys use your own creativity of how you're going to do this. I mean, basically, that's it. I mean, there are no specific details down to the T. I mean, nothing like that at all, especially with Goldust.
It's funny. It's not controversial back then, although Goldust was controversial just because he was wacky and weird and did all this crazy stuff. But now people like go back like, oh, I can't believe he did that and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to mention this because I was kind of a little perplexed by it, but his opinion is his opinion. But you were all over the news with a few different guys. But I wanted to talk about Booker T first. I just thought that was interesting because you booked him to be world champion, right? It's almost like the Lance Storm thing. You booked him the best he ever was booked in his career, but then he kind of badmouths you. I feel like Booker T was almost doing the same thing, almost unsolicited. I just thought that was weird because I know your buddies
was 100%. It was, bro. You got to understand, man. When I do my shows, John, I don't talk about people. Okay, the only people I am really, really, really hard on are the dirt sheet writers, because they're full of shit. Okay, so yes, bro, I am all over them. But when you're talking about colleagues and people I worked with, and people currently now, bro, whether they were friends or foes, I never ever have anything negative to say about anybody. And even when they make remarks like this, I don't have anything negative to say. I try to understand why they made the remarks. And the thing with Booker is that there were a couple of them. So, like, I don't know exactly which one you are talking about per se, but he made a couple of comments like, bro, somebody asked me what advice would I give young people that want to break into the wrestling business? And my answer was, with good conscience, I wouldn't advise them to get into the wrestling business based on my experiences. If my own kids wanted to get into the wrestling business with a good conscience, I wouldn't be able to tell them, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And Booker somehow, some way turned that into me being bitter. It's got nothing to do with me being bitter, bro. Like, man, if you worked in the restaurant business and you didn't like the restaurant business and you recommended somebody doesn't get in on it has nothing to do with being bitter. Because, bro, here's the difference. Booker has a wrestling school. So, of course, Booker doesn't like me saying that because he wants kids to go to his wrestling school. But, bro, when I look back, what do I think of, bro? I think of China. I think of Daphne. I think of Tammy Sitch. I think of the poor girl who went overseas and hell happened to her, Ashley Mazzaro. These are the people I think of, bro. That's what immediately comes to my mind. I know people that the wrestling business has literally killed. I know that. So, like, that's the way I look at it, that it's not all it's hopped up to be. And I would not recommend anybody get into it. But to take that as me being bitter. And then he had the comment, I think, he called me hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because I guess what he's trying to say is I still make money off the wrestling business, but yet I negatively talk about it. Bro, I'm a freaking critic. So if I watch a wrestling show and there is something bad or something I don't like, in my opinion, I'm going to say it. So because we do shows like this and I still talk about wrestling, I'm a hypocrite if I say something negative about it. And that's all wacky to me. And I got to tell you, John, I don't believe in the I make money off of wrestling. That is absolute bullshit, bro. I make money off of Vince Russo because, John, here's the bottom line. You and I know this. Bro, there are 1,000 wrestling podcasts out there. 1,000. Everybody's got a wrestling podcast. Every dirt sheet guy, everybody in the business, you, me. Bro, who are the people? Who are you choosing to listen to or pay to listen to? You're choosing to listen to the person that you like. So John Paz has an audience. Vince Russo has an audience. Stevie Ray has an audience. X-Pac has an audience. They're paying for you because they like you. It's got nothing to do with wrestling, bro. If they wanted a wrestling podcast, there's a million other places they could go. So this BS about I'm still making money off of wrestling. Nobody in wrestling sending me a check. I'm not working for any wrestling company out there. I'm working for me. And when people subscribe to Russo's brand, they're subscribing because of me. They can go get wrestling any way they want. So the idea of me still making money off of the business and then I'm a hypocrite if I say something negative, get the frig out of here, bro. Like, seriously. Bro, I am, listen, man, if you're in the business, if you're still currently in the business, bro, you're kissing the ass of the wrestling business. Period. End of story. I happen to be in a good position where I've carved out a niche. I make a good living for myself, and I don't have to sit here and kiss everybody's ass every single day. So if you're working in the business, bro, you're kissing the ass of the business. And I know that, and I understand that. But why everybody has to drag my name into everything when I sit here and the last week, Eric Bischoff, Booker T, and Jake the Snake Roberts. I said nothing about any of them. Nothing. Zero, bro. And even after they made their comments, I still didn't say anything negatively about them. So I don't know what it is with them. And, the bottom line is, Geez, bros, if you're making money off of my name by using my name, then freaking throw me a couple of shillings, bro. I mean, literally throw me some money if you're constantly going to keep bringing up my name to freaking put money in your pocket, because I'm not talking about them.
Bischoff, I would kind of expect, just because you guys have a history together, but Booker was kind of out of nowhere, and Jake the Snake, I was shocked. I don't know why. Why did he say anything? That
Because
was a
bro is
shocker.
trying to get over with the cool kids. That's why. Bro, Jake knows the internet wrestling marks and the dirt sheet writers and the AEW audience. He knows they hate Vince Russo. I never worked with it. Bro, I worked with the dude a day here and a day there, John, because every time I worked with Jake, he was gone the next day. So I literally only work with him a couple of days. Bro, that dude has no idea what Vince Russo wrote and didn't write. He's got no idea in the freaking world. But of course, when my name is brought up, to get over with the cool kids, to get in good with AEW, what am I going to do, bro? I'm going to insult Vince Russo. And my question to that is, it's like, bro, like, are you going to be doing that into your 70s? Is that what you're really going to be doing, bro, as you get towards the end of your life? These are the things that you're going to be doing because you still want a spot in the wrestling business? To me, bro, that's just freaking sad.
Yeah, that was I don't know if he was asked a question about you or whatever, but that seemed like it was out of nowhere. Where he
He was
mentioning,
asked the question, should Vince Russo be in the Hall of Fame? And he
oh,
said, and he laughed and said, F no. First of all, bro, I've said a million times, I would never want to be in the Hall of Fame. I've got no freaking interest in that. I don't need the approval of Vince McMahon at this point in my life. It would mean nothing to me because there's so many great people out there that have since died that have never put into the Hall of Fame because they have whatever they have with Vince McMahon. It's a joke and it's a sham. So for him to say, oh, F no, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I give a shit about the Hall of Fame to begin with.
yeah, interesting question. Just they don't obviously put writers in the Hall of Fame, do they? I don't, as far as I know.
No, I mean, bro, I've made it clear. First of all, it would never happen. Second of all, I would never accept it because I'm not interested in it, bro. Now, if you're talking to me about, hey, Vince, would you like to see a, Ivan Koloff or a Bundy or a, Steve
Demolition.
Lombardi going to, yes, put them in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely, yes, because I know that would mean a lot to their families and to them. But as far as I'm concerned, first of all, bro, there is no Hall of Fame. Like, where do I go to the WWE Hall of Fame? Where is that, bro? Is that in Canton, Ohio? Where the frig is that? There is no Hall of Fame, bro. So it's just a show. It's just another show for the WWE to sell to the USA Network. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah, there's not a physical Hall of Fame. I know there was rumors of one, but there's not a physical Hall of Fame. Yeah, there should be one, but there isn't.
No, not at all.
And there's no real qualifications either that has ever been put out there.
If Vince McMahon liked you or not.
Yeah. And whatever
that's really what it comes down to, bro.
That particular month or whatever, whatever.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the guys that aren't in, and Bundy, Bigelow, Demolition. Man, it's crazy. Ivan Koloff, it's crazy. Who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Right, of course. So you think I care about myself? Like, give me a freaking. But that's Jake getting over with the cool kids, bro. Maybe Tony Khan will see that and give him another run in AEW. Who knows, bro? But like, I'm so over these people, bro, that are still in the business and are still kissing the business ass. And when somebody is outspoken and says negative things about the business, then they are immediately attacked.
It does seem like an easy thing. Just make fun of Russo, get over with the certain segment of the niche fan base, for sure.
Exactly. I mean, bro, think about what Bischoff said. Vince Russo is fixable. Bro, part of the reason the guy lost his job was because of me. WCW was kicking the WWE's ass, bro, 83 weeks in a row. And then Vince made me the head writer. So a complete turnaround. And Eric Bischoff lost his job. So if I was the guy that was responsible for that and I'm fixable, then what is he? Like seriously, bro, then what are you? I came in and I kicked your backside, bro. So if I'm fixable, like if bro, we set record numbers that have never been approached and never will be. So you're telling me while I was doing that, I was broken? So like if I'm fixable, what are you? That's what I mean, bro. It's shit like that like, and like I say, John, I never talk about these people. I don't talk about Cornette. I don't talk about any of these people, bro. I talk about people with me want to know. They want to know two things. They want to know, number one, what's your opinion of the current product? That's what they want to know. And number two, they want to reminisce and talk about the Attitude Era. That's all they want. That's what they want from me. And that's what I give them. I don't sit here and I don't, constantly just crap on people and degrade people and cut people down. That's not my freaking thing. Like I said, outside of the dirt sheet writers, because these freaking guys, bro, like the fact that they believe and think that they are actually in the business when they have no clue, bro, to what it is to actually be in the business, but they really think they're a part of it. I just think at that point, somebody needs to put them in their place.
Interesting. As we're recording today, 26 years ago was the quote unquote birth of the Attitude Era. Or a lot of people say it was because of that Vince McMahon, a little 2 minute or so backstage promo that he cut saying the cure for the common show. Remember that
Bro,
promo?
he was talking about Vince Russo. That's exactly who he 100% was talking about. We're no longer going to be this. We're now going to be this. And like I said, bro, it's so stupid to me because, again, bro, you're never going to be able to erase those numbers, but yet you're going to continue to take shots at me. Like it's so idiotic. If I would have fell flat on my face and the numbers would have continued to go down to 1 million people or whatever, absolutely you tear me apart and bury me and I was horrible and this and that. But I mean, my God, bro, you're taking the shots at the guy that, literally wrote and produced the highest ratings in the history of the business. It's ridiculous, bro. It's like freaking, it's like taking a shot at, Stephen King writes horrible horror novels. Like really, bro? Come on.
Do you love that Vince promo? Because I mean,
I loved it.
because that's like him really coming out of his shell there, showing you the
Absolutely.
real Vince, taking a shot at
Absolutely.
Hogan. Remember, he says, "There's no more superheroes. Take your vitamins and say your prayers." Obviously, shot at Hogan. He's
Yep.
like, "Those days are over." He goes, "There's no such thing as good guys and bad guys." Like,
Yeah. It was great. It was
yeah,
great,
that was like
bro.
his
Yep.
coming out party. Him
Yep.
that and him making fun of Brett Screwed Brett. That was like his
Yes.
slowly becoming Mr. McMahon, who we all know and love. Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
or
Absolutely.
or or know and hate, depending
Yeah.
on who
Right.
you are.
Right.
But that was almost like, wow, this guy is such a prick. You know what I mean? It was the perfect thing for the Attitude Era. You guys needed the perfect villain.
Yep. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Now, the topic at hand today, of course, Attitude Era, which you said, people love to reminisce about the Attitude Era, and that's what we'll do today. Judgment Day in Your House, 1998, October 18th, 98, from the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois. The attendance 18,153, so packed house, 305,000 pay-per-view buys. So nice big pay-per-view buys for kind of a B show, you would say. I mean, it's not one of the big four. So
Yeah.
over 300K. I mean, that's pretty good for a pay-per-view, considering WCW is also having a pay-per-view and having a big pay-per-view this month as well. So pretty good number there here in 98. And obviously they had Hogan versus Warrior, Halloween Havoc 98. I think they did around 500,000 buys, but that was the thing. And then they fell off the cliff. You guys
Right.
are going here and going nothing but up. You guys are
Right.
building. them having Warrior show up and doing the pay-per-view, Hogan, do you even think about that, care about that, or no?
No, not at all, bro. No, I am just concentrated and centered on our show. So no, not at all.
Any sort of relationship with Warrior at this point? Because I know you were friendly with him, but are you still talking to him in '98 or
No,
no?
no, we kind of lost touch a little there, bro. During that time. So yeah, I was not in contact with him when he was working at WCW. I tried to get him back into WCW when I went there, but I was not in contact with him during this time. No.
Him and Hogan, not a good one. I think that kind of turned some people off. Just a feud, and it's 8 years later after WrestleMania 6. It just didn't really work out. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. It spiked the rating for a bit, but then it kind of just died off.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just run through real quick. There's some Sunday Night Heat matches before the pay-per-view starts. Steve Blackman defeated Bradshaw in 3 minutes. The Oddities, Giant Silva, Golga, and Kurgan with Luna Vachon, Shaggy Two Dope, and Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse defeated the Los Boricuas, Jose Jesus and Miguel. That match went 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The Godfather with two random hoes defeated Farouk in 2 minutes, and Scorpio defeated Jeff Jarrett in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Just quick, short matches here on Heat. Just interesting to note that Jeff Jarrett and Farouk both losing on Heat here. Does that mean that they're in the doghouse? I mean, what's kind of the thought process there?
What were the matches again, bro?
So Scorpio defeated Jeff Jarrett via roll up in 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and the Godfather defeated Farouk in 2 minutes. Were they headed towards getting depushed here?
Man, I don't know about that. That's strange. Who beat Farouk again?
The Godfather.
Yeah, see that I could understand because they Vince loved the Godfather. He loved that whole gimmick and this, that, and the other thing. Godfather was tight with Taker, so he was in a really good spot. So that I can kind of see. But Jarrett losing to
Too Cold Scorpio.
yeah, that's odd, bro. That's odd. I honestly don't remember, bro. I honestly don't remember.
I know it's via roll up, and he will come out during the pay per view, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I wonder if Jarrett wasn't too.
I wish I could remember, bro, but I can't.
And I know Bradshaw and Farouk both losing. Eventually, will come back, and they'll be the acolytes. So I mean, it's kind of like they needed maybe a change.
Yeah, that's very quite possible. Yeah.
So let's start the pay per view. Al Snow with Head, of course, versus Mark Merrow with Jacqueline. Al Snow gets the win in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Jeff Jarrett does come out in this and try to interfere on behalf of Merrow. Doesn't quite work out, and Al Snow still gets the win with the snowplow. What do you think here of Al Snow and Head starting off the pay per view with a win?
Yeah. I mean, bro, Big Pop coming out. You know what I'm saying? Al was very, 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 very entertaining. Merrow was great. I mean, very, very, very underrated in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, this I think is a exciting, entertaining match that will get the people up from the get-go. That's what I think. Merrow had a lot of heat back then with Jackie. Everybody loved Al and Al's gimmick. So I think this is a good opening match.
When you look at Al Snow and Head in this gimmick, is there a ceiling to it? Do you think it could go like higher? Do you think it's upper mid card? Do you think it's main event? Like, what do you think about this gimmick with Al Snow and Head? I know he is super over, but where do you think it can go?
I don't have any caps on anybody, bro. Like
Oh,
I'm listening to the people and I'm looking at the ratings. So if the people and the ratings are in an upward projection for Al, then I'm just plugging along with Al, bro. So I don't have any cap or any limitations on this whatsoever.
I know Vince McMahon loves to talk about the glass ceiling. Let's be honest, though. Is there really a glass ceiling in his mind with some of the guys? Or if the guy gets over, he'll push him to the moon? Like,
Now, his philosophy is different than mine. There is definitely a glass ceiling in his mind. He'll look at a person and, just physical appearance alone will dictate to Vince McMahon where he thinks that person will go.
I was just reading something interesting, and I know you have a fondness for AJ Styles, and I'm sure everyone else does too. But that when Vince first saw him, I guess Triple H was kind of the one that really wanted to bring him in. Vince was like, "Oh, this is him." They weren't even going to give him that theme music, which kind of fits him perfectly. It was just interesting. He put him in a like in a thing. He's like, "Oh, you're like a little pit bull or whatever." Like his thing for shorter people that can wrestle is like he calls him pit bull or something.
Bro,
It's like a
Vince didn't care about good workers, bro. He
yeah.
didn't care. That was not on Vince's radar. What was on Vince's radar were attractions and draws and people that were larger than life. That was on Vince's radar, not how good a wrestler they were. It doesn't matter who it is, bro. Those guys were outside of Shawn. And I wouldn't even say Brett, bro, because here's what people don't understand, bro. Brett and Shawn were not small guys. They weren't,
No,
bro.
no.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, they both look, bro, there were a lot of wrestlers in that category, that size. You had Shawn, you had Brett, you had Kurt Hennig, you had Roddy Piper. There were a lot of wrestlers that were in that size. But, as far as, good hands and people that could work and people that could go, bro, that wasn't Vince's forte, bro. It never was, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. He turned around on AJ, saw him wrestle a little bit, saw him cut a few promos, obviously on WWE TV, and then he started to like him. But that just shows you, right? Vince doesn't watch any other
No,
wrestling
and bro,
promotion.
I guarantee you Vince started to like AJ because AJ was AJ. You can't know AJ and not like him. So I guarantee you the longer he worked for Vince and the longer Vince got to know him, that's what made Vince like AJ. It had nothing to do with the work or anything like that. I'm sure he really liked him as a human being.
What did Vince think about Mark Merrow? Because remember, he got the second ever guaranteed contract. I guess Pillman got the first. He got the second one from Vince. Like he doesn't usually give out guaranteed contract. What did Vince think of Merrow? I mean, he must have liked him a lot.
Well, he really liked because keep in mind at that time, Rena had never been on television. So they both went to his office when they were meeting and negotiating. So Vince saw Rena for the first time, and I think Vince immediately saw them as a package, and just thought Rena's looks were just exotic. And, so I think, he was meeting with Mero, but then Reno was there. And I think immediately he thought of them as a package.
All right, the next match up, LOD 2000, Animal Hawk and Droz versus the Disciples of Apocalypse, 8 Ball, Skull, and Paul Ellering. LOD 2000 gets the win in 5 minutes here. Interesting to note that Droz gets the pinfall, but he's not the legal man, and this pissed off Hawk. He thought he stole his victories, thought he stole his win. What do you think here, LOD 2000 with Droz? Did you like this gimmick? Did you think that Droz
Yeah.
is going to replace Hawk? What do you think?
I'm just kind of surprised at the finish because, Hawk was having his problems, bro. And I guarantee you the reason Droz was kind of put in that threesome was to send a message to Hawk that if you don't straighten out, there's somebody right next to you ready to take your spot. 1000%. That's how they work, bro. Like that's how the WWE does things, bro. So literally on his own team, they're reminding Hawk either get your shit together or there's somebody right here that could take your place.
Did you think Droz would be a good replacement in
No,
LOD? I mean, the greatest tag team
no,
of all time, arguably.
no, not at all. Never. No. Nothing against Droz. But like you said, bro, they were the greatest tag team of all time. He could not have replaced Hawk. No.
Do you think that, like you said, like they're doing that to the Hawk's face? Do you think they're saying anything to Hawk, like, "Hey, man, this guy's your replacement," or is it just so obvious that like it's
No.
going to be your
They're
replacement?
sending a message. Sending a message, bro. That's what they're all about. Sending a message, man. When they do it to this day, when Orton is giving the RKO to Nick Aldis, they are sending a message. They are testing Nick to see if Nick is going to say anything, to see. They still do that, bro, to this day.
Really? That's why you think he did to Aldis? I thought it was the old.
1000%.
I know. I thought it was the old Stone Cold Steve Austin DTA. Remember, he used to stunner everybody for no reason.
1000%. I
Wow.
promise you, bro, when Nick went out there, he knew nothing about it. Now, towards the end, he might have been smartened up by the referee or Orton himself, but I guarantee you when he went out there, he had no idea that that was going to happen.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even. That didn't even cross my mind.
Bro, Pritchard had an issue with Nick for years, bro.
Yeah.
Pritchard was the one keeping Nick out of. So now think about it, bro. Pritchard's been keeping Nick Aldis out of WWE for years. All of a sudden now Triple H comes along and wants to put him in. And that's what they're going to do. You know, that's what Pritchard's going to do to test him. Let's test him and see how he reacts to this. Bro, Nick Aldis went on Twitter the next day and said, man, they were right. The RKO totally comes out of nowhere. He's telling you, I had no idea. He's telling you, I had no idea this was coming.
And then the next week, Orton gave him a check. Did you see
and
that?
how ridiculous, how horrible was that, bro? How this guy drops you with an RKO. He walks in your office the next week and you ain't going to do nothing. Come on, man. That's this is the game they play, John. It continues to go on.
And he gave him a check for $100,000. He said, "Oh, the fine was only for 50." He's like, "That's for the next one."
You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they don't even let Nick Aldis say something like, "Yeah, you go ahead and try that." Nothing, bro. Totally cut his freaking balls off. That's what they do, bro.
But he's just a general manager. He's not supposed to be a wrestler.
No, it doesn't matter. Bro, Pritchard didn't want him there. He didn't want him there for years and years and years. He didn't want him there.
What was the issue with them that he didn't like him? Was it
stemming
from TNA?
If you don't know Nick, he can come across as very condescending, chip on his shoulder, cocky, arrogant. That's how the dude comes across until you really get to know him. So first impression, I guarantee you that's how Bruce felt.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Do you think that he should be wrestling, given the fact that
he will be. He will be.
What is he? 6'4", 255?
Yeah,
you know,
bro.
He
definitely will be wrestling. Yeah.
Will he be wrestling Randy Orton? That's the question.
Probably.
Next up here, we have Christian with Gangrel versus Taka Michinoku with Yamaguchi-san, your buddy Yamaguchi-san, for the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. Christian defeats Taka Michinoku in 8 minutes, 30 seconds to win the Light Heavyweight Championship. Pretty good match here. Do you hate the Light Heavyweight Championship? I know you do.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, that was their, you know, trying to match WCW with their light heavyweight division. Yeah, I hated it.
Do you like the Brood here? Because Edge is watching in the crowd. You kind of don't know what's going on with him, but obviously Christian is with Gangrel. You got the Brood really kind of coming on strong. Do you like that trio, if you will?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I'm definitely a fan of the three of them. Definitely. Yeah.
Taka Michinoku, Yamaguchi-san doesn't do anything for you?
Not really.
What about when you
was this was after, was this before or after the angle with Val?
I'm trying to think about that. This is before, I believe. I think that's coming up.
Before, but Taka's a heel. No?
Now he is, yeah. He's just about to be a heel, yeah.
I think it's before. I think it's after. It is after. It definitely is after. Yeah. Because I'm watching the Attitude Era now, and we're getting into the stuff with Val and Yamaguchi-san, and Christian isn't even he's not even in the picture yet.
Okay. And his wife. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that the light heavyweight championship obviously created because of the cruiserweight championship. Do you put any sort of extra effort like in putting storylines? Because the cruiserweight division is a lot more match based.
Oh yeah, no, I was trying to put storylines, bro. I definitely was trying to put storylines. And bro, on the other side of that, the arrangement with Japan might have been ending. You know what I'm saying, bro? These may have been contractually Taka's last days. I can't remember that, but it's very possible that his deal could have been running up.
Do you think that that division really like ever had a chance to do anything? Like, was
No,
Vince really going to put a lot of effort into it?
no, Vince wasn't into it.
Because it seems like to me, it's like, okay, Christian versus Taka, but there's not a lot of juice. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, absolutely not. Yeah, no, Vince wasn't into the light heavyweight stuff for the reasons I just told you.
So you're right. The Val Venus Taka Michinoku stuff was
Yeah,
before
yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah. It just that was so funny. Oh my god, Yamaguchi-san. Whose idea was that, by the way?
I'm watching that. I'm watching that now, where he just noticed the woman in the front row, but he doesn't know it's Yamaguchi-san's wife. I'm just watching that now.
Where does that storyline come from? And you bringing in John Wayne Bobbitt and stuff.
Just to enhance the character, bro. That's it. Just to enhance the character.
With that stuff, I mean, obviously, it's so memorable. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily they're going to have a great match, but everybody
Right.
remembers Choppy Choppy your pee
Right. Right.
and Bobbitt and that
Right.
whole controversy and his wife, obviously, what she did. Yeah, so it's all memorable stuff.
Oh yeah, because bro, at that time, that Bobbitt stuff, people forget. They'll look at that today, and Russo, this, that, and the other thing. Not having a clue, bro, because many of them probably weren't even born. That Bobbitt thing was a huge deal back then, bro. That was on the news every single night. So of course, when you look at it today, you're gonna look at it. Oh, that was stupid. This, that, and the other thing. Bro, back then it was headline news. So getting the dude on the show helped our ratings, man. Everybody was talking about that, bro. She freaking cut his wiener off and threw it out the window. They had to go look for it. Everybody was talking about that,
Yes,
man.
yes.
And then to have Lawler interview him. Come on, man. Like, seriously. So that's why, yeah, man, you could look at that 25 years later, but you don't understand what was happening at the time.
Definitely a different time period for sure. But
Yes,
you got to bring stuff from the mainstream into
of
wrestling.
course.
It brings you extra attention.
And bro, think about it. The guy had no money, so he's not going to cost you anything. You know what I mean, bro? He's going to be happy to do it for whatever you pay him. But like I said, you look at that 25 years later, you're not understanding the time and what was going on,
Yep. Next match up, Goldust defeats Val Venus with Terry Reynolds in about 12 minutes. Interesting to note here, Goldust before the match is saying, I told you I was coming back to Val Venus. Remember, he had left for a while. You didn't know
Yeah,
what was going on with Goldust. And then
yeah.
he comes back. Terry Reynolds, of course, hates Goldust, said she ruined his life. She tries to help Val Venus win for not. Goldust nails him with the Shattered Dreams and gets the victory. You like the kind of, I guess, real life issue with Terry and Goldust playing a factor.
I mean, not that I liked it, bro, but whenever there's real life issues going on, the performance is going to be better, bro. The performance is gonna be better, bro. When I cut that promo on Hulk Hogan, I was genuinely pissed off at him because, bro, why would you say 2 days ago that you agree to this and now 2 hours before the show you don't? That's what I was pissed off about, because if he would have came back with the second draft and said that doesn't work for me, brother, then I would have wrote a third draft and a fourth draft. But to let me know literally hours before the show, that's what I was pissed off with him about. But that's why I said, bro, when there's real anger and a real issue, you got the audience there saying, holy shit, man, I think this is real. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
anytime as a writer you have a shred of that, you try to use it.
Did you think that Dustin pulled off the Dustin Runnels, I'm religious,
Nah,
he's
that was
coming
shit.
back, Jesus thing?
That was bad, bro. And that's creative. That was not Dustin's fault, bro. That's probably where Dustin was at the time. But when as I'm watching that back now on Russo's brand, I don't like that at all. So that's the creative. That's not on him, bro. It was so hard to try to recover from what to do with Dustin when they stripped Goldust of him. It was so difficult to top that. You were never going to top that. So that stuff, no, bro, I was not a fan of. And, that was me trying to figure out what to do with them, but I wasn't a fan of that.
Do you like him taking shots at his dad and doing stuff like that, like being super controversial?
Man,
Goldust.
that's where he was at that time, bro. Like that was him. Like that was really him. That wasn't us saying, cut promos on your dad. That was where he was at that time in his relationship with his dad.
What a great character. Obviously one of the greatest wrestlers. He's awesome, but what a great character.
Yeah. And always, bro, that dude was always in everybody's good graces. You know what I mean, bro? So everybody was always behind Dustin Rhodes. Everybody, bro, all the time, bro. That's why we were trying so hard to figure out, what the next, creation of him was going to be,
Yep. So up next, X-Pac with China defeats D'Lo Brown for the WWF European Championship. The match goes 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Pretty damn good match here.
That's what I'm saying. Just
These
by
two.
you talking about this, I'm envisioning this being a real good match.
D'Lo, one of those guys, I don't know, under the radar. Great hand, great wrestling. Obviously, X-Pac is great.
Yeah.
So one of those things where I guess for pay-per-views, just have a longer good match that the people that are buying the pay-per-views are going to enjoy.
Bro, no doubt if I look at, most underrated of people that I work with, D'Lo's in top 3. I mean,
Really? Wow.
no question about it, bro. No, Mero's up there with me, and definitely D'Lo is up there with me. Yes.
Also teasing here, X-Pac does get the win, but teasing the China Mark Henry love interest. What did you think about that?
That was fun, bro. That was so fun to do because it was so outside of, who they were up until that point. So you're totally seeing a new side of Mark Henry. You're totally seeing a new side of China. These are the things, bro, that make characters 3-dimensional and make you care about them. These are those things.
When you look at it, Mark Henry is going to be in a match later on, but was he in line for some sort of maybe push here? Because it seems like he's getting some more TV time. Like they're able to
Not
show
really,
his.
bro. He's
No?
getting more TV time because he's entertaining and people are enjoying it. That's why he's getting more TV time.
Not necessarily a push or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
When you look at China at this point, are you seeing that there's more to her, like as far as her character? Like, hey, we could do more with her than
Oh,
just
of
the
course.
bodyguard that stands there and looks like
Absolutely, bro.
$1,000,000.
Definitely 1000%. Absolutely, man. Yes.
How do you get like a sense of it? Because is she doing something backstage? Is she doing something on the house shows? How are you guys getting a sense of her, like the other side, her entertainment side?
I think it's a combination of two things, bro. I think it's a combination of number one, everybody likes her. Everybody liked China backstage. Everybody. And bro, she was a professional, and whatever we gave her, she got over. So when something like that's happening, man, you just got to keep giving more and more and more and see how she does.
Mark Henry and her obviously would have a lot of interesting interactions, and it was just I don't know. It's one of those things where they're both kind of blossoming, and it's like wow, they maybe can be more entertainers, which is
Yeah.
what WWE fans and the casual
Yeah,
fans
just
want.
take them to the next level, bro. That's it. Take them to the next level.
When you look at China at this point, obviously it's almost like she's nothing but more and more TV time. I mean, she's going to become a definite bigger part of the show, even more than X-Pac coming up. Like she's going
Yeah.
to be becoming more the star of the
Yeah.
group. I mean, Triple H separate, but DX is almost like she's using that and getting herself up the mountaintop.
Because she was unique. She was different. She looked like a star, and she was very, very well protected.
Yeah, well said. So next up is an interesting one. The Headbangers, Bosch and Thrasher versus the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg for the WWF Tag Team Championship. So it doesn't seem like doing much with the Headbangers here in '98. Seems like New Age Outlaws, which we talked about before, are getting a pretty big push. I know you said Vince was behind them and everything else. So the Headbangers end up winning this match by disqualification. The match actually goes 14 minutes. So you got a long match here. They lose because Billy Gunn gets seen by the ref hitting Thrasher with a weapon. So it's one of those things that with that, remember that giant boombox thing that you guys always had and would break? It's actually kind of a cool gimmick because it just looks like, oh my God, that boombox exploded.
Yeah.
Um, why Headbangers? I mean, it's a DQ, but why not have the Outlaws just go over straight up?
Just to keep it for a couple of reasons, bro. Again, these two guys were very, very well liked. Very well liked. Team players, bro. Very well liked. Never complained about anything. But this is just a way to keep it going. That's all, bro. It's just a way. It's just a way to keep the feud going. The fact that now the Headbangers have a win over them, but it wasn't wasn't a 1-2-3. So it's just a way to kind of keep the feud going.
And of course, the championship does not change
Right.
hands on a
Right.
DQ, so the Outlaws are still the tag team champions.
Right.
Interesting. I remember some point in '97 when LOD came back to the WWF at the Manhattan Center, they wrestled the Headbangers, and even in their return, the LOD didn't get the straight up win. It was like a count out or something. I was like, wow, like the Headbangers are so well protected. Like, why wouldn't
Yeah,
LOD in
no,
their
they
big
were
return get the win?
they were well liked, bro. They, again, being team players, man, knowing their role, they were really well liked.
They are super nice guys.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of like
man.
underrated team too. They were always pretty good to me anyway in ring, and
I
they had like
agree.
a cool gimmick to kind of especially in that time period.
Yeah,
And I
I agree.
uh, just saw an interview saying that they were saying somebody was like, "Oh, you should be in the Hall of Fame," and they were like, "Well, there's like a million people that should be in the Hall of Fame before us." So they're humble too. They're not going to be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we
Oh
should be in the
yeah,
Hall of
yeah,
Fame."
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I like those guys. Interesting gimmick. Did you ever see more out of them, or it's just tag team division? That's
Yeah, bro, it was just there were just so many. We talk about this all the time. There were just so many guys that were just so over. You know what I mean, bro? There's only so much room at the top, man. That's what made it difficult today. Today, those guys would probably be like a number one tag team, without a shadow of a doubt. But back then, man, with everything you had going on, it was just tough.
I remember at one point, Mosh was teaming with D'Lo later on, and then he was Beaver Cleavage, which I'm sure was your idea,
Yeah,
right?
I think the tall one was Glenn, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think he had some problems, bro. He was having some problems back then, and that's why we spun. What was the other one's name?
Amash, Chaz, if you will.
Chaz. Yeah, that's why we kind of spun him out. There was some personal problems there.
Beaver Cleavage was an interesting gimmick. Didn't go too far, but pretty interesting. Was that your idea, Beaver Cleavage?
Yeah, it was my idea. And again, bro, rather than let it play out, oh, bro, him and his mother are having sex. Bro, she was never his mother. Okay. That was the story. It was very, very gold dustish. But of course, oh, he's doing his mother. No, bro, he was never doing his mother. So of course that never got the chance to play out.
Next up, Ken Shamrock, the WWF Intercontinental Champion, defeats Mankind in 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Really, really good match here. What did you think here? Shamrock going over Mankind, who's in the midst or was in the midst of a pretty big push. That's a big win for Shamrock, but is that a down push for? Is he
Nah,
getting?
bro. Mick was bulletproof, bro. Mick didn't need a title. It didn't matter if you beat Mick. He was so unique and so great, bro, and would play three different characters. Mick was, bro, about as bulletproof as they get. Put a microphone in his hand. It doesn't matter, bro. He was bulletproof.
It's an interesting finish here. Howard Finkel kind of announces Shamrock won due to the mandible claw, and sensed at this, Shamrock kicked Mankind, suplexed the referee. At one point, Mankind put Mr. Sacco and applied the mandible claw before leaving the ring. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's just, are you trying to keep him strong? Because obviously heading into Survivor Series, Foley is getting, he's going to be back towards the top of the card. He's trying to kiss Vince's ass. Remember, he shaves and, you know what I mean? Is it almost one of those things where he's trying to be like a sympathetic character here? You're trying to get him some sympathy here?
Yeah, well, you definitely are trying to protect them, bro. I mean, see that's the thing today, bro. It's like they don't protect anybody. It's 50-50 booking. They outright beat people every week, and they're not creative to protect the person that's been beaten, so he just loses. Obviously, bro, Mick is a major player. So even if we want Shamrock to go over, in the process, we're going to protect Mick and his character as much as we can.
Foley here is so funny because he's trying to get back in Vince's good graces, trying to kiss his ass. Remember, he's dressing up in the suit. They give him that eventually you guys give him that hardcore title. You know what I mean? And Vince is kissing his ass. Obviously, it's all a ruse on him. He's just a gullible, like he's looking for Vince to be his father figure, and
Right,
and
right.
and he's trying to kiss his ass, and Vince is letting him fall for it. So like you guys are putting like a ton of sympathy on him. It's just like, oh man, like we love this guy, but oh, why is he falling for this millionaire, billionaires
And bro,
bullshit?
what else was tied into that? What else was tied into that was there was a period of that storyline where he was looking for Paul Bearer to be his dad. So like that's what I'm talking about, bro, when it comes to layers of character. This guy is looking for love. He's looking for guidance. He even goes to Paul Bearer, then Vince McMahon, but that's what adds layers to a character, bro.
Keeping them strong there towards the end, for sure. Heading into Survivor Series where Dwayne Gill makes his return and
Right, right.
fights Foley in the first round, which is great because then obviously it seems like, wow, Vince is really setting up this tournament for Foley to win here. Like, what the hell's
Yeah.
going on? So, and here is the other part of that as far as leading up to Survivor Series, which you love to say, the swerve, bro, the swerve. The Rock is a babyface here, and he's
Yeah.
fighting Mark Henry. So the nation's splitting up, and he's going to fight Mark Henry in the next match. So what you think heading into the tournament is, all right, Foley is Vince's golden boy. This is the guy he's going to line up to win the tournament, and you're thinking The Rock has no chance. Their
Yeah.
boss man is going to try to take him out early in the tournament. Like and you swerved it and obviously reversed it. You were messing with Foley. Vince
Yeah,
McMahon was messing with
Vince
Foley,
was
and Rock was
playing
the
him.
golden boy. He's
Yeah,
playing him. Yeah.
Vince was playing him, bro. That's it. That's the story.
Pretty shocking here. Mark Henry defeats The Rock in the next match in about 5 minutes thanks to D'Lo Brown's cheating. What did you think here? Obviously, a few weeks later, The Rock gets his win back on Monday Night Raw. But what are you thinking here? Trying to get him over as like the sympathetic babyface before the big heel turn for The Rock?
Probably, yeah, bro. Probably to get the people behind him. So screwing him in the match,
Yep.
you're gonna get the people behind him. The more people we can get behind him, the more impact that swerve is gonna have. Absolutely.
Are you guys already thinking at this point, Austin Rock, like that's going to be the big feud coming up? Because it seems like Rock is definitely getting that big push, and obviously Austin is the man. I mean, he's
Yeah,
the
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
when the main event comes around, it's for the vacant WWF Championship. Now we know because we were talking about it last month, Undertaker and Kane double pinned Austin. McMahon takes the belt. He didn't announce a title. It didn't announce a champion because Kane and Undertaker kind of screwed him. Maybe he thought they were going to help him. They had no interest in helping him as the Brothers Destruction. So now what he does, he books them a match against each other, and he makes Austin the referee. He said if Austin doesn't call it down the middle and basically count to three, and we get a champion, get a winner, Austin will be fired on the spot.
Mhm.
So just an interesting little wrinkle here. Kane, Undertaker for the vacant championship. Austin is the ref, but there must be a winner according to Vince. So do you like that lead in at least? Do you like the
Oh,
setup?
absolutely, bro. You're always trying to add stakes, bro. You're always trying to add stakes. I'm curious as to what happened.
Okay, so this match basically ends in a double pinfall. Austin takes out Kane. He takes out Undertaker. He uses a chair. He uses a stunner. He then does the double pin as they're both out. He doesn't pin them, but he does they're both out 1, 2, 3, and says match is over, and he says, "You know what? I declare myself the winner," and whatever. So obviously that not actually going to sit well with Vince McMahon, who they reveal is actually sitting above the entranceway with Boss Man with him. He's in his wheelchair from the injury from Kane and Undertaker from Raw. And he's, which was awesome. What a awesome heel is in the wheelchair, getting wheeled around by Big Boss Man in like a hood. And he's this big security guard who he
Yeah.
hired because he doesn't want to get beat up anymore. I
Right,
need a
right,
bodyguard.
right.
Perfect segue. Awesome way to bring back Boss Man. But do you like that? There's no winner at the end of the pay-per-view, right? I mean,
It's
do
not
we
about
get screwed
bro.
there?
It's again, bro. This is such a different time. It's not about the win. It's about the story. This is all about the story, bro. This is all about the journey and the ride. And the fans could care less that there wasn't a clean finish or a 1, 2, 3. All they care about is what are they gonna do on Raw tomorrow? How is Vince gonna react? That's all they cared about, bro.
Austin was true to form. He said that's exactly what he was going to do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Take them out. Paul Bearer actually comes out and tries to interfere, and he think for Kane's behalf, he actually hits Kane, kind of turning on Kane. Does kind of all for naught there, but just interesting with where Bearer's going. Bearer's kind of going maybe away, maybe more with Taker, but
Yeah.
he's mad at Kane because Kane and Taker are talking again. It's
Yes.
an interesting little wrinkle with Paul
Yeah.
Bearer there as well.
Yeah. You don't know where it's going, bro. That's the key, man. That is the key. If you don't know where it's going, you gotta watch it, man.
So Larry he said he was upset that there was no winner in the match. He felt like there was like a swerve or a screw job as far as not getting a winner. You're saying it doesn't matter because you have to watch Raw the next night. It's part of the TV program. Just get it
Absolutely.
episodically.
Absolutely, bro. And what Austin did is exactly what he would have done. That's exactly what he would have done. Vince McMahon puts him in that position. He's not going to let Vince get the best of him. You know, the end of this is going to be a big F you to Vince. That's what Austin's going to do. But now you got to see how Vince is going to react. So a win here, no disrespect to Larry, but a win here means absolutely nothing. This is exactly what Austin would have done.
So Austin is looking for Vince. He's saying, "Fire me, fire me." Where is this guy? He says he's going to fire me. They show Vince. He's up on the above the entranceway there, and he basically says, "I've been here. I've been sitting up up in the box." Basically, Austin, you screwed me. You didn't do what I told you to do. I told you I was going to fire you. So he says, "Screw you. You're fired." Right then and there. So then you're thinking to yourself, what the hell? I can't believe Austin or McMahon actually did it. He actually fired Austin. What do you I mean, and obviously you have to watch the next night because you're like,
Of
what?
course. Yeah.
What?
No, of
He
course, bro.
fired Austin? You can't do that.
Bro, here's the difference, man. Everybody's staying true to character. Everybody's staying true to character because Austin did exactly what Austin would have done. And Vince McMahon, bro, as the owner of the company, he's not going to let Austin get one over on him. So he's basically giving him the big FU. I told you, you didn't listen to me. You're fired. Every character, bro, is acting like they would act. That's why I said, bro, you brought up this is the difference between now and then. You brought up the Nick Aldis gets RKO'd. The next week, Randy Orton walks in his office and Aldis is just looking for a check. No, bro. No. Aldis would be looking to freaking fight freaking Orton. That's what he would be looking to do. But they made him, mamby-pamby, just give me your check. Oh, it's double the amount because you're going to do it to me again. Okay. That's not how Nick Aldis would act. That's the problem, bro. So it's just so important and so key to stay true to everybody's character.
I love it though. The screen is down, the screen goes up, and Vince goes, "I want you to see me when I do this to you." And
Yeah,
Austin's
that's
down here
awesome.
at the entranceway. He says, "Everybody should take a picture and commemorate this moment because it's the last time you're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin in the
That's
WWF."
awesome.
And he goes, "You're
How
fired."
do
He
you
fires him.
how do you not watch the next night?
Right, you have to because it's like, wait a second, there's no Austin. Austin has to be on, and you know he's going to do something. So of course, Austin says, "You haven't seen the last of me." As Boss Man takes Vince and rolls him away, you haven't seen the last of me. You're like, "Oh shit, Vince is in trouble. What is he going to do to him now?"
Yep.
He's fired, but you know he's going to show up.
Yep. Yep. That's what's missing, bro. Yeah.
So overall, though, you like the show because episodically you have to watch Raw the next night.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, man, just you laying out the matches to me again. I mean, it just seems like there was some really good matches on this show.
Yeah, this was one of those things. Sometimes during the Attitude Era, it was almost like a lot more story than good matches.
Yeah.
But there's actually this one is kind of a little bit of a combination. It was good matches and good story.
Yeah. 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 Sounds like a good show.
Yeah, definitely. The Attitude Era was definitely blossoming, and this is kind of the October really of '98. Is really when you see like there was no 50-50 WCW WWF. Towards the end of the month, it just goes total WWF, and then you guys just take over from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, so let's hit the plugs. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Check the website tmptempire.com. Vince, what do you got?
Yeah, guys, if you've never been a member of our Patreon program, right now you can go to patreon.com/Russo TWC and you can get a free week of the brand, bro. It will cost you absolutely nothing. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. Take advantage of the free week.
All right, thank you everybody out there for listening. See you right back here next time. Have a good one, folks.